the 13th of July 2026. Welcome to All About Her. To present it, my name is Kachana Sinyani. The next 25 minutes will be all about her. Now, we're delighted to actually begin this program and that you have decided to study it with us. Focus on a subject that touches every home and every stage of life. All right, women and money. Like this program is tailored for women, so we are being biased, very very biased actually towards our women. All right, so today we talk about saving, investing, and building wealth in Zambia. Of course, it's about women. So women and money, saving, investing, and building wealth in Zambia. Now, financial empowerment isn't only about earning more money, it's about managing what we have wisely. Okay, also planning for the future and creating financial security for ourselves and our families. Okay, so whether you're actually a businesswoman, you're a farmer, you're an employee, a student, or even a homemaker, there are practical steps that you can take towards financial independence. Let me not say too many things. I have, somebody who's well vested in that field. So to help us understand this very important topic on All About Her this morning, we are indeed gladly joined by our guest, Mukonkela, who is a financial expert. She's also an accountant. Mukonki, good morning.
Good morning, Kachana. It's a pleasure being here.
Welcome to Radio 4 on a Monday.
On a Monday. On a Monday, right?
Yes.
I know. Thanks for inviting me.
You're welcome.
I'm happy to be here.
Great.
Your program is called what?
All About Her.
All About Her.
Yes.
Wow, that's nice.
Yes. So it's all about her. We are talking to women. This program is specifically meant for our beautiful ladies out there. A very important topic, very interesting at the end of the day, that we have today, women and money.
Absolutely.
Saving, investing, and building wealth. Well, Mukonki, thanks for joining us. We are also grateful that our listeners have joined us on the show today. We hope that they can be with us up to the end of our show. Now, we start with our show, Mukonki. Why is it important for women, particularly in Zambia, to prioritize saving, investing, and also, being able to build some wealth?
Thank you, Kachana. I just want to say good morning to my subscribers who've joined me online. I don't like to miss a good opportunity. So I always record whatever interviews I have. So I'd like to say good morning to subscribers on YouTube at short notice. Thank you so much for joining us, particularly the women. Ladies, if you are listening online, please say, I am present, or just say present, like we used to do at school. We record the absentees. So this topic is very, very fundamental, Kachana, because women carry a lot of responsibilities in our families. Women contribute towards the general welfare of a family. They contribute towards school fees, towards food, towards healthcare in the families. Towards funerals, women play a major role. And this actually reminds me of a funeral I recently had. I was telling you about it earlier, Kachana. And so you see women gather together. They are there at the kitchen preparing meals during funerals, doing a lot of things that require management of money and finances. And so women paying particular attention to how they manage money is very important because of the responsibilities we carry in our families. That is why it is very important.
Thank you so much. Now, many women, believe that they don't earn enough to save. Is it possible, Mukonki, to earn enough to save? Is it possible even to build wealth on a modest income? And, in case it is, all these questions I have asked, where should a woman begin from?
So it is possible. A straight answer to your question, whether it's possible for women to save money with little income, it is possible, but it requires discipline. So I do understand that majority of us Zambians do not earn a lot of money. Remember, we are in one of the poorest countries in the world, Kachana. Sometimes we tend to forget this because we are happy people as a nation, right? But one thing we need to remember is that we are actually one of the poorest countries in the world. And so it might seem like we do actually earn very low incomes generally. However, it is possible for you to save money and invest and grow it. We've seen case studies of individuals that have demonstrated that it's possible. And when you look at these individuals, what you see, Kachana, is that they were disciplined, they were consistent. I'll give you an example of our president. He normally says, I bought a house in Kalingalinga when I just started work, and when I was buying it, people are laughing at me, right? That's a practical example of someone who started from humble beginnings. And because of consistency, discipline, they were able to build wealth over the long term. So yes, it is hard, but what it requires is for you to be consistent, be disciplined, and eventually, as you save, your money starts compounding, and eventually it starts growing and starts taking care of you, and before you know it, you could be even a millionaire. So it's very possible. What it requires is consistency and discipline.
Thank you so much. I'm still talking to Mukonki Mukonkela. She is a financial expert as well as an accountant on all about her today. And we're glad that she actually took this invitation and came through. We are talking about something that is very, very important to every woman. Okay, women and money, saving, investing, and building wealth in Zambia is our topic on All About Her. And I am still your moderator. My name is Kachana Sinyani. Now, in a quest to be able to achieve these things that we're talking about, saving and investing, as women, you and I will attest to the fact that we have belonged to saving groups, village banks, not to talk of cooperatives. These are very common in Zambia. How can women benefit from, such groupings, and what precautions should they take before joining? Because we've heard, okay, time and again, people getting scammed, admins of certain groups, just going into oblivion with people's monies. Well, how can women benefit, first of all? And then is there anything that you'd like to talk to our women about in order for them to stay safe, to make sure their finances are actually safe before joining such groups? For a good cause, we all want to save and invest.
Absolutely. So savings groups and village banking groups are really useful. And I'm so happy that we got to organize ourselves in such a way that we are able to form groupings of individuals that are able to contribute finances together and share out during payouts in terms of savings groups. So it's very, very, savings groups in terms of the way they are organized are very important because they create discipline for you as a member of that group. You are regularly required to contribute to that group, isn't it? So that is the discipline that you are creating. And also when it comes to finance, the habit is also very important. So the savings groups, because of the structure that it's formed, it helps you to create a habit of contributing, setting aside some money that you earn and not just utilizing all the money in terms of consuming it for expenses. So that for me is the most important reason why savings groups are very important, particularly for women. They help us to create a system around which we can create discipline in terms of saving money and growing it. The other reason, Kachana, which you may attest to, is the fact that savings groups allow us to borrow at interest rates which are far lower than going to a commercial bank or a lending institution. So that's a great advantage of a savings group. And if your savings group is well formulated, which brings me to what things as a woman or even a man you should be looking for when you want to join a savings group, is whether the savings group has got clear systems in place. And the most important one is the constitution, because the constitution dictates the amount of money that should be contributed, how much money will be lent, at what rates, the withdrawals, the payouts, and all of these, the treasurer, where are we going to keep money at, things like that are all found in the constitution. So a very well formulated savings group should have a constitution that members should understand. And that is one thing that you need to look out to if you want to join a savings group. So the rules must be very, very clear. So as women, we need to utilize these savings groups, but also ensure that we are protected. Even as we choose the leaders in our savings groups, we also need to do some research, background research. The treasurer, what caliber is this person that we want to put as a treasurer, for example? How have they managed finances in the past at their families or at their workplaces? Because as you mentioned rightly, a number of savings groups have been scammed, if you like. Someone has run away with money. Someone has actually used money for kandeke. I've heard that. They've gambled the money away.
Goodness. They wanted to double it. Unfortunately, they lost it all.
And so the essence of a savings group is very important. And I think it it will help if we are able to manage our savings groups well. And I know some groupings have actually managed to manage their savings groups well. We are able to do a lot from their savings group money. Others have built houses, others have bought vehicles just from contributions from savings groups. So we need to ensure that they are well formulated around a constitution and clear rules, and we choose honest people with good caliber
that you're going to
entrust
them,
our finances with.
Yes. Very, very important indeed. Now, Mukonki, are there any investment opportunities that are suitable for ordinary Zambian women who may want to grow their money over time? If there are, what kind?
There are absolutely so many investment, I like to call them vehicles, that are suitable for women. But the first starting point, Kachana, as a woman, you need to understand your goals. What are you trying to save the money for? Because oftentimes I feel like many of us skip this step. We go to the second step, which is finding an investment. Maybe we've heard our friends talk about unit trusts. We may have heard someone talk about bonds or property, and we skip the goal and jump to the investment asset without understanding that it is the goal that needs to be clear, that will allow us to choose a correct vehicle to take us to the destination. Because remember, the goal is determining your destination. So I'll give you a very practical example. If, for example, I've got 3 goals. I've got children that would be in university in 3 years' time. And in about 2 years' time, I want to build a house. I want to stop paying rent. So I've bought a plot maybe in 10 miles or somewhere, and I want to build a house. So those are 2 goals. The third goal could be, my mother is getting old, so I just want to have some emergency fund somewhere to take care of my family, extended family. So these are 3 goals. So you also now need to look at the time frame. So if my family go, my mother and extended family, those could be short-term goals. So the vehicle how we use to save money and invest money will ensure that it is money that I can draw quickly. Can you imagine if I have a funeral right now and I've bought a 5-year bond? It will be difficult for me to withdraw to sell that 5-year bond and attend to the funeral. So what I'm trying to tell you is the investments are there, but you need to start with a goal. And I've given you examples of the goals. And in terms of the assets that you can invest in, you can invest in unit trusts. You can even invest in high yield fixed deposit accounts. There are some bank accounts that offer good rates in terms of interest rates. But those 2 that I've mentioned right now are for short-term goals. For longer-term goals, you can invest in things such as government bonds and shares. So you can buy a part of a company listed on the Lusaka Securities Exchange. And the return that you get from investing in shares are dividends. Every year you get paid a dividend. For bonds, you get paid coupon incomes. And at the end, when the bond matures, you get your entire money back. And in terms of how you get started, with the bonds, all you need to do is open a CSD account. That's a Central Securities Depository account with the Bank of Zambia. From about 2023, it's actually been made very easy. You can go online and open your own CSD account and buy your bonds. You don't even need to go to the bank to buy the bond. Many people think that for you to buy a JRZ bond, you need to go into the bank has to buy the bond for you. That's what it used to be. But now you can actually just go onto the Bank of Zambia website, boz.zm, create a CSD account. Of course, there will be some requirements, your NRC, your passport size photo, a signature mandate, and these are the things that are required, and you're ready to start buying bonds. For shares, all you need is a brokerage account, and it's not like an account where you have to put money in. A broker is simply an intermediary that allows you to buy and sell shares. So you can find any brokers as long as they are licensed with the Securities Exchange of Zambia. You'll find a whole list of them on the SEC website. Choose one. Many people have asked me who's the best broker in Zambia. I always say, for me, they're all the same. Okay. Because the advantage of a broker really is the amount of information they're able to give you, the customer service. So if you can do a little bit of research on at least 3 brokers, you can choose one and you'll be ready to start buying and selling shares as well. For unit trusts, you can go to any fund manager. We've got fund managers that sell unit trusts. So for unit trust, all you need to do is find a fund manager, and you'll be able to buy unit trusts and also redeem them by selling them back to the fund manager. So these are basically the assets that women can start investing in, the opportunities that we have at the moment, and with good returns, Kachana. Yes.
Great. We still get back to the issue of financial fraud and scams. Obviously, with the rise of mobile money and digital banking around, the world has been digitized. And of course, how can women protect themselves from certain financial fraud and scams? Because, savings and investing is all around money, all around finances. And we want to just stay away from losing this money if we start saving and investing it.
So digital inclusion is very, very important. And I will talk about the how you protect yourself. But for me, another risk that I've identified, and this the one that brought it to me is my house help. She came one day with her phone and was like, "Madam, there's this game I've been playing and I need to cash out. I need to withdraw this money. What is this? How do I cash out?" Then she's telling me, "No, I haven't even spent a single cent on this, but I've won like 2,600. So now the risk is actually on our phone. These betting companies have become very clever. You download the app, and in communities, particularly in many of our compounds, many women who are not literate, particularly financially, they might not know that this is a scam. So they'll end up providing financial information, providing a tip-in to their mobile money accounts, maybe even bank accounts, and then money will be withdrawn. So this is a real risk. And I believe it's going to increase as time goes on, especially with the development of technology. So the very first thing you need to do to protect yourself is to ensure that you do not share your tip-in or your PIN password to your bank account or to your mobile money with anyone. If someone calls you, and most of the times they call and say, "I'm calling from this bank and you've won this prize for a game you did not participate in. You've won this prize, so want to give you money." So you could get excited and then they go further and ask you for the password to your bank or your mobile money. And if you're so excited, you provide that information. So don't provide your secure tip-in numbers to anyone without knowing who they are, and in fact, don't even do it. Even if you know that this is my bank, don't even do it. The best thing you need to do is cut the line and call back the bank or the mobile company, or even visit that company and find out whether these details are truly correct, whether you've won a prize for whatever reason, and all of that. So to protect ourselves as women, you need to be very careful. And even sending money, I've received so many texts. Send money to this number. And sometimes
those messages are still coming,
and they come very conveniently when you are in the process of sending money to someone.
I wonder why that happens.
So you need to ensure that you really verify the person you're sending money to. Kachana, I'm sending you money. Which number should I use? Confirm. Don't just be in a hurry to start processing transactions. So I think we need to slow down, confirm that where we are sending money is the correct destination. Don't give your tip-in to anyone. That is your private password. So that's what I would share.
Very, very important. And these people that want to get your money dubiously, they always have something new. Okay, so this one send this money to the other number is not working. Had stopped for a bit, but it's coming back. I think I got one not too many days ago. So we really need to be on the high alert.
And the other thing is, there's always a sense of urgency.
Yes.
So where you see someone, scammers are always in a hurry. So where you see there's agency, we need to do it right now, otherwise you lose the prize. We'll give it to someone else. Let's do it immediately. Then you need to be on alert.
To know that there's something amiss.
Yes.
All right, we continue talking about women and money, saving and investing, and how to build wealth in Zambia. I'm still talking to Mukonki, our financial expert and accountant, who is on All About Her this morning. All right, with the next 10 minutes remaining, I'd like to know, Mukonki, what some of the biggest financial mistakes that women take or make and how these can be avoided.
I think for me, having dealt with women, and I come from a family of women, one of the biggest mistakes is leaving financial decisions to men. A lot of us women we understand the man is the head of the family. But some of us are too relaxed such that we don't even know how money is made. All we want is to spend the money. And so we leave financial decisions entirely to the man. And when we are faced with a challenge where maybe we've lost this partner that we're relying on or depending on, or financial situations change, the man loses the job, that's when we are now required to play a significant role. So as women, the biggest mistake you can make is to leave financial decisions to the men. You need to be a partner. You need to be part of the financial discussions as well. Just as you do your family planning, your
We need to involve
your vacation planning,
Mhm.
anything that you do with your partner, finances should also be part of the discussion. You should not leave it to the man alone. In fact, women have got good ideas when it comes to how to build and grow wealth. And I know a number of families where they've relied on their women to make money, to start businesses, and to ensure that their families are well taken care of. The other financial mistake I see is women are very good at saving money. Extremely good.
Very true.
So a woman can have money in the house and no one would know because they've been saving it over months, perhaps even years. But we also need to take it a step further, because our men folk actually understand that the growing money is not in saving it. It is in investing the money. Money only grows when you invest it, because you can save money, but investing is where you start earning interest. So the interests that I've been speaking about, from your shares, from your bonds, from your unit trust, even from your property. So don't just save, but also invest the money. Investing money is not losing it. Once you start seeing the coupon coming in, the dividends coming in, you start realizing that this is where I can grow money. So as women, let's not just save money, let's also ensure that we are investing it in the kinds of assets that I have mentioned. Of course, there could be a number of other challenges, but I think these two are quite important.
Thank you so much. Okay. As mothers, we spend more time with our children, even as guardians. Is there a way, we can teach, children healthy financial habits such as budgeting, saving, and also responsible spending?
There is a way. As you know, Kachana, children learn by observation, right? They see what you do.
Yes.
So as a parent, if you are teaching your children to save money, you've bought a piggy bank, but they've never seen you save money, you don't talk about the savings that you're making yourself, they may not take that lesson seriously. So the most important thing when it comes to financial literacy in children and parents transferring that is by what you do yourself. So if you're talking about saving money, demonstrate to children that you also actually save money. If you're talking about budget, create a budget. So when you go shopping, for example, you go to some retail outlet, you go with an actual shopping list. So you're not just buying things impulsively and putting them in the basket. What you're doing is you've got a list, and you can even tell them. What I used to do with my kids is I would actually tell them because they used to trouble me a lot, would go to some shop, right? And they wanted to pick everything. So I decided, no, let them draw the list. We need cooking oil, we need washing powder, we need toothpaste. So I started telling them to create that shopping list, and then would go to and would calculate how much money we need. I'll tell them to estimate. At first they didn't know, but they would estimate. Then would go to that shop, and then they'll start picking the things. Me, I would just be walking and put behind, and I would give them cash. They'll go to the till and pay. So they actually started seeing for themselves that we cannot manage to buy everything, maybe with a 500 kwacha. We can only buy up to a certain limit.
And things that are within the budget.
Within the budget. So when it comes to financial literacy in children, as parents, we need to make it very, very practical and follow even the age the child is at, because maybe 0 to 5-year-olds or 10-year-olds, you can implement what I've said. When they are growing a little bit older, the lessons can start changing. You can open a CSD account for them or buy some shares for them and ask them how these investments are performing when they're teenagers. Ask them, how are the shares? How much dividends did you make this year? And so I think with children, it's about being very practical and also ensuring that we're also doing what we are teaching or preaching, right?
We need to be doers of the word. I like that preaching. Very,
I
very
think so.
important and interesting, Mukonki. We have 4 minutes, and in those 4 minutes, I'd like us to, just conclude. Are there any, practical steps that would encourage every woman listening to us this morning to take towards achieving financial security?
So I just want to thank the women. Women do a lot of things, a lot. I know men also think they do a lot. But honestly speaking, and I'm not being biased, women give birth to children. Women ensure that children are nurtured when they are sick. And not just children, even old parents, relatives. There's a lot that women get to do. So I'd really like to just celebrate the women we have in our country. We are doing a fabulous job. Some of the things I would like you to do is ensure that you are part of the financial discussion. Don't leave financial matters to your partners or your husbands alone. Be part of the discussion, because you never know what tomorrow holds. You may be the one that will be required to lead your family. And so if you're already playing that role, it will be easier for you later on. So take part in the financial discussion. Secondly, saving is very good. And you could be earning a lot of money, but ensure that it's working for you. So don't